Okay, so again, that was an example of shape fitting there. And so we did do the E shape, and then the only one left to discuss is the D shape. And we're really lucky. Um, we're lucky that our chart here, which is like 165 or something, it's making today's topic easy. So when we get to those charts, we're going to have an easier time of it. So the D shape is the first inversion of a pentatonic scale. Okay, it doesn't start below the low E, so we can't start it. So the D shape, the E has to start on the second. So we start on the second because the E's the second. We can't get this D, but I can get this D. See, I can get this D, so I can start a D pentatonic there. All right, but with the fret nut here, we have to start on the second, so the E becomes the second. That's why the D pentatonic scale starts on the second, no matter what key, by definition. Okay, so now the thing to remember though about the D pentatonic scale, the reason why I'm doing it down here is because up here I'm going to turn my wrist, and my wrist is kind of sore, so I have to kind of stay off difficult stuff like trying to bar it way up here, and the neck gets kind of thick here. So it's not like a big long guitar like you might have an electric. I've got this support down here, this piece of wood down here, and man, I think I turned my my wrist on it. And other ways, just like leaning on my hand while I'm making charts and stuff. So sorry about that. So we'll have to play it down here, but up here is going to be 2, 3. All right, so here's our root pentatonic. It's the first inversion of a pentatonic scale, okay, which is 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2. So remember, this is a root pentatonic, and first inversion of that pentatonic is like that, okay? So that would be your D position. Then we have our D, up here. Same thing. Our D goes to a C minor. That's one pentatonic scale lower than the D letter. So if we have a D major shape here, our C, our Aeolian kind of sixth, the minor sixth is going to be C minor shape. Now where is it according to this chart? Because I'm starting to trip up here. 3, 6 root, 3, 6 root right there. We're not going to take the D minor into the next cage over, but it would go there, and it would be D minor shape there. Notice the D minor there. Notice the D minor shape. That's going into, believe it or not, the it looks like it's going into the E cage, because that, you know, the question is, which cage is this D minor in? And it would be going into the E cage there, right there, which is, you know, neighbors with the D cage. They share. Okay, so you got 7 root 2 here in the E shape, and then going in, they share the 2 in the D string shape, 2, 3, 4. All right, so the C minor shaped A minor, in this case, because we're playing in the key of C, would start on the third there. It's going to be way down here for me. It's going to be 3, 6, root, 3, 6. And then instead of taking it open, which goes into the E cage, we do an on string. And that's going to be following the D pentatonic. Now the D pentatonic is not an easy pentatonic. Okay, it's not an easy pentatonic to do. And it's even more fun in the diatonic. Remember, the D diatonic is going to be starting with the D shape, going to the A, and fifth of D is A, fifth of A is E, fifth of E goes to the C with the augmented adjustment for the tuning, the tuning, what do they call that? Ripples. The ripples from the tuning, you know, the consequences of the tuning. So that's not the actual tuning warp. The actual tuning warp is between notes here. So 4 would go to a perfect third there, between the G string and the B string there. Okay, but this is from E going to C there is an augmented. That's as a result of the tuning being like the way it is. C going to the G again, just a normal string shape right there. So you got 3, 4, 5 string shape going to 6, 7 root string shape. Notice we have ease of string shape labeling here. It's all straight up and down for you in the D cage. That's one good thing about the D cage. The string shape labels are stacked like a magic fret. They're just stacked like magic there. And the string shapes themselves, one going skewed off to the left, one going skewed off to the right, it takes care of the warp for you. You don't have to worry about the tuning warp. This is always the same. C is always going to be 3, 4, 5. G is always going to be 6, 7 root. Okay, so that's your D diatonic, okay, which is 2, 3, 4, the D shape. So D shape goes to A shape 5, 6. A goes to E shape, you know it's going to be over here, and that's shape fitting too. Knowing that the A shape goes to the E shape and E is going to have the 7 tabbed out over here. Now this is getting, let's kind of leapfrog off this subject for a second. And you know, this is how we do the D, and then of course before we leave the subject, we're also going to look at, we're going to have this C minor shape. So it's right here. Here's C minor. Okay, remember second inversion with C. Okay, because it's not G shape. G shape would be right over here. G minor would be right over here. G minor shape. This is C minor, so we go up second inversion, and we've got something that starts to look like it's going to be a little D shape C, but it's D minor shape C. So the only real minor we get up here is we could arpeggiate it. And certainly we've got our C minor shape chord right there, which isn't an easy it's not an easy chord to play. Okay, I'll just play that chord for a second. We're going to bar the second. I can do it down here. Okay, we're going to start on the E and the 6 and then the root. Okay, so this is essentially a very low C minor shaped A minor. Let's play a regular, easy, familiar A minor. Okay, there it is. Cage works, and cage backwards works. You know, it all works. What I wanted to show you, so this is what I wanted to show you. Just a little warm up with my coffee there and my vest. I just go with what I got. Somebody asked me the other day, would you like to get some free clothing? When I was getting some free staples they have here in Transylvania County. And I said, no, I pretty much go with what I got. I've been wearing this thing for years, off and on, literally off and on, you know, because it warms you up fast. So what I want to talk about is we're back here now looking at this. And when I was saying, you have to know that A shape goes to E shape, and this is the shape fitting of the pattern. Now, if there happens to be a tuning warp, you got to move it over. But this is the way the pattern will be if there's a tuning fourth. So that's what patterns are, and that's A shape going to E shape. This shows you that you're going over to the 7 here. What makes this pattern easy is you have aliasing with that E shape and that C shape, or C and E. You know, just the order of the two didn't matter. It matters here, and that is you go over for either one of them. Okay, so and it's the opposite on this side. So that's shape fitting by pattern. It's pattern shape fitting.